on the victory and on fantastic innings, a match-winning innings for yourself. Where does that rank in terms of your England performances?
Yeah, right up there. Any time when you're not out at the end to see your side home is a fantastic feeling. So yeah, delighted to contribute. Obviously, having got a first ball the last game, so it's nice to spend some time in the middle.
And we saw in the India innings, it was really only Virat Kohli who got to grips with the conditions and batted well. Did you feel that there were runs to be made on that wicket?
I think there were. I don't think it was straightforward all the time. I think quite a different wicket to the ones we have played on. I think the different soil, so it seemed to have more bounce in this wicket. And actually, probably a little bit of a play off it with it getting under lights. It maybe got a bit better, but I think a lot of the credit has to go to the guys who bowled for us first up. To take 3 wickets in a power play is fantastic, and it really sets the game up for you from there.
There was a lot of discussion on commentary about whether it's best for you to open or bat further down the order. Does that end the debate today, do you think?
I don't know if it'll ever end it. I think people seem to quite enjoy talking about it. I think I certainly sometimes feel the pressure of that. Every time I do have the opportunity to try and make a case, because there's obviously loads of us who can open the bag for this team. But I know I've got the full backing from Morgs to go and do that. That gives me a lot of confidence, and I think I really enjoyed the role today, as I always do.
Is that your preference?
Yeah, it's my preference in T20 cricket. I think for most people, it's the best place to bat, to be honest, in the game. I'll always be open-minded. I'm sure in certain teams may ask me to bat somewhere else, but I know Morgs is keen for me to open in this team, and I'll do that with his backing.
Thanks a lot, Jos. Congratulations again. Let someone else jump in.
Dean Wilson, please.
Yeah, hi, Jos. Congratulations on that performance. Just wondered a little bit about the chat that you were having about Eoin before the game, giving him his 100th cap. I know that was touched on in the presentation. I just wondered what sort of an influence Eoin has had on you in this white ball team. Was it, for example, was it his idea for you to open the batting? And you talk about the confidence that he gives you. Is that sort of stuff what came out when you're talking about him and his 100th cap?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more trying to talk about him and his journey. I think he's been a pioneer for English white ball cricketers. I think he's always been someone who's been ahead of the curve. I'd say alongside Kevin Peterson, they were 2 guys that I always looked to in white ball teams who could do it a bit different. Who could take the game forward and look to be ahead of the curve. So I think he was a pioneer as a player to start with. And certainly as a captain and a leader, he's taken English white ball cricket to a place it's never been before, to be honest. And I think he's done that in quite an incredible way. I know how much everyone enjoys playing for him. The environment that he's created, the group we have at the moment, is as much fun to play in as ever, and it's a really good team. So he's been a huge driver of that, alongside a few others. And I think he's a selfless guy, but trying to. No means to achieve 100 caps.
And I just wondered as well, for yourself, you mentioned there that you sometimes sort of feel a little bit of that pressure, that expectation on you opening the innings. When you put in a performance like that, does it kind of allay all those pressures and actually the fact that you're widely regarded as England's best white ball batsman, does that kind of sit more comfortably on your shoulders these days?
Yeah, I think for myself it's just, again, sort of coming back to the people in the dressing room and my captain and the role they want me to play. I think that's one thing Eoin is always clear with every single player, what he expects from them and how much he backs people to do that job. At the moment, he wants me to open the batting, and he backs me 100%. So that gives me a lot of confidence. I'm fully aware that some people see it differently, and we have a number of guys who would love to bat in that position. So I think naturally there's those pressures that you feel like on the runs, because if I don't score them, someone else will come up to the top of the order and do it.
Great, thanks.
Matt Roller, please.
Hi, Jos. Well played. I just wanted to ask about your method against Johal. I think you've never really got after him like that in the IPL, but obviously launched him for 6 first ball tonight. What was the thought process behind that?
A little bit that I felt it was a great opportunity to try and attack him. The ball had swung a little bit for the seamers and was standing up, so spin I felt like was going to be the best time to attack in the power play. And probably the fact that he's had success against me before, he might not have expected me to attack him. So it felt like the right thing to do, and I was confident to take him on and to try and get, there's a couple of risks I took, came off and sort of set me on my way.
And with that sort of middling target, like 150, 160, was that always the target to get off to a flyer inside the power play?
You always want to get off to good starts and chasing any target. 160 can be one of those in-between scores. If you start slow, the rate can creep up and you create pressure on your own team and others that you may not necessarily need to. If you look at the 2 power plays today as a bowling unit, we bowled fantastically well and kept them well under par in the power play. And we got to a nice start, which really set us up to allow us to not have to take too many risks as the game went on and get home pretty comfortably in the end.
Thank you.
John Etheridge, please.
Jos, hi. Looking at the 3 results so far, the team batting second seems to have a huge advantage. Is that the case, do you think, or is it just a case that they've played better in each game?
Yeah, I think certainly in T20 cricket as a whole, there do seem to be trends. Sometimes the batting second is advantageous. I think today you have to say that the way the guys bowled and taking early bowls and getting 3 down first 6, that's really sets us up to win the game. So of course, if we lose a toss and bat first, or we may play the same get time to it first as well. We won the toss tonight and certainly did the right thing.
Okay, thank you.
2 more questions now, please. Will McPherson, then Shashwat Kumar.
Hi, Jos. You mentioned how good the bowlers were there, but could you just sort of sum up their performance, and particularly Mark Wood, and how much of an impact that had on the game, how much of a head start that gave your team?
Yeah, absolutely huge impact in the game. He bowled fantastically well first game as well. Obviously missed out the second game with a bruised heel, but any time he seems to get the ball in his hand at the moment, whether that be in a test match or a 50-over game or T20, he looks in a fantastic rhythm. He's a real match winner and he's bowling extremely quickly, so he's a huge asset for the side, and you put him together with Jofra, and the pace those guys can bowl is quite intimidating. So to take early wickets is always a huge benefit in T20 cricket, and it put India back and it didn't allow them to attack early on in their innings. So that was a huge moment in the game, how well the guys bowled, and I think Adil as well, bowling the first over, something he's not done a lot of. It looks very threatening, and obviously picked up a wicket in the power play last in the first game. So the guys are really taking to that job well.
Are England getting closer with the ball to having all bases covered, if you like? I mean, Moeen hasn't played a game yet. Tom Curran's played one. You've got Reece Topley there as well. Where do you think that is in terms of how well covered you are at the moment?
Yeah, I think we're really well covered. Like you say, you've got guys who can bowl express pace. We've got left arm options in Sam Curran and Reece Topley, and then with Mo Adil and Matt Parkinson as well, who's here and just fantastic T20 bowlers. So, there's some exciting options with the ball, and I think as this series goes on, they've been put under pressure at certain times, experimenting with certain things, and we're getting closer and closer to seeing what works. And I think that's communication within the group is fantastic, and I think we'll just keep getting better.
Last question now, Shashwat Kumar, please.
Good evening, Jos. Congratulations on an incredible innings. So you started off your innings by taking down Yuzvendra Chahal. You deployed a few reverse sweeps against his bowling. Jason did similarly in the past couple of games. So is that a plan that you have hatched to tackle Chahal in particular?
Yeah, I think so. At certain times, he's obviously a fantastic bowler and has had a lot of success in T20 cricket. I think we naturally have in our side a lot of guys who are good exponents of the reverse sweep, and it's one of their shots. So naturally, we were going to play that shot. It's become a big positive in T20 cricket if you've got that in your armories. It's about the guys backing their options and going for that. And trying to put pressure back on the bowlers.
Okay, so one other thing you talked about Mark Wood and Jofra Archer's performance. So how enjoyable is it for you to stand behind the stumps and keep to guys who bowl at such pace?
Yeah, wicket keeping is, you've got the best seat in the house to watch those guys steam in and bowl fast. We know what good performers they are, and they stood up and been counted all the time. It's great to watch Mark Wood steaming in. He looks in fantastic rhythm. As I said, he's anytime he's got ball in hand at the moment, he seems to make things happen with express pace. And they're fantastic bowlers, and we're lucky to have them both playing together.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.